What is mental health? My name is Ryan Pasram. I'm age 33. My rap name is Ryan P. And my mental health diagnosis is paranoid schizophrenia. And I've had mental health since I was 17 years old. 16 years it's been. I'm on clozapine at the moment, but I've been on 3 different medications before clozapine. They've been risperidone, quetiapine, and olanzapine. But the doctors felt those 3 medications weren't working properly on me, so they put me onto clozapine so in case I don't relapse and things like that. So yeah. What is mental health? Mental health is a diagnosis of different things. It could be paranoid schizophrenia, it could be depression, could be anxiety, could be bipolar. There's different sort of mental health conditions that you can have and get, and they're the main sources of mental health. They're the main things of mental health. Those things that I've just mentioned and talked about and spoke about. Good mental health can be that if you keep taking the medication, it can keep you stabilised and well, and that's the positive side of. Even if you do have mental health, you can still be staying well by taking the medication, and if you keep taking the medication that you're going to keep taking, then it'll help you not to relapse. It'll help you to be stabilised and well. But if you stop taking the meds, there's a chance that you could relapse, and possibly could be put in hospital if you stop taking the meds. That's some way you can sort of relapse. That's a way you could relapse by stop taking the medication. But it's best to keep taking the meds to stay well and to keep you stabilised and well and keep you out of hospital. So, when I did relapse in 2012, 6 years ago, the reason why I relapsed was I stopped taking my medication for a little while, and basically. I was put into hospital because of that particular reason. That's why I stopped taking the medication for a bit, and I relapsed. I was in hospital for a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks at least. But I was coping quite well after the couple of weeks. So that's why they discharged me after 3 or 4 weeks. That's why they discharged me from hospital, because they felt I was doing quite well. And but since then, I've been taking the medication. My clozapine, the 200 milligrams that I'm going to take, and I haven't relapsed since then. So I relapsed once since I've been in hospital in 2012, and I haven't relapsed since then. What is mental health to me? I've been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia since I was 17 years old. That was my diagnosis, and I have been, as I said, on 3 different medications before my clozapine, the medication that I'm on at the moment. And basically, the doctors did feel they weren't working properly on the 3 other medications, so they felt that when they put me on clozapine, that would work better than the other 3 different medications that I was on in the past. So, and being put on clozapine has helped me a lot, because I haven't relapsed since being on clozapine. Since they put me on clozapine, I haven't relapsed once. It's keeping me stabilised and well, and I've been as active as possible, and I'm doing what I can day by day as much as possible. I still do get quite drowsy on the clozapine, but I still try my best to be as active as possible and do what I can day by day and do as much as I can every day as much as possible. The negative stereotypes on mental health, it can be depression, because people, they when they feel a bit down or depressed, it can make them feel a little bit worse, and it can make their mental state be even worse, or they might get anxious about things. And about particular things day by day. The negative stereotypes about mental health. People can look at you funny, judge you differently, react differently towards you. They might, when you're walking down the street, it might look at you funnily, or if you do strange things when you're out and about, they might look at you differently in that sense as well. It can cause people to treat you and look at you differently. You've got mental health, and that's quite a few of the negative things about having mental health. My name is Ryan Pasram. My rapping name is Ryan P. I've been rapping for 18 years now, since the year 2000. It started off as a hobby when I first started rapping, and in 2008, that's when I started to write my CD, and that's when I started to take my rapping more seriously. And I brought my CD out in 2014. And I was aged 29 then, and then 1 year later, 2015, I bought my two more tracks out since then. I bought a track out called Community Track. It talks about thanking my friends and family for the help, love, care and support that they've given me throughout the years, helping me to persevere and better myself. And it talks about respecting people in the community as you walk around, and basically I'm working on a 10th track, which I'm gonna rap for you what I've written down so far in a little bit, and then we'll just go from there and persevere from there. Mic check. 1, 2. I try and keep myself to myself, and it's definitely not about the wealth. And I thank God that I'm in good health. And whatever the devil puts in your way, try and run a race like the Commonwealth. And through this, the devil will move away and melt. And through this, every left and God felt. And also, God's enemies will get whipped away like a belt. And this does not have to be explained or spelled, because God knows everybody's fate. And if you're only God inside, make things great. And try your utmost to be on narrow and straight. And through particular things, people can relate. But sometimes, people have days where they feel they might deteriorate. When this happens, you have to move on and relocate. And God bless you wisdom and gifts. And you have to think, you have to appreciate. And also God's word, if you meditate. And to the up above, you have to dedicate. Some things can be tense and gloomy, but it's good to have a good sense of humour. And you haven't got to be a negative consumer. But despite this, with God you'll be a winner and not a loser. And with this, if you please God, the devil will try to be an accuser, but he will never win and will always be a loser. And also with this, the Lord will give you hope in the future. But even this, you cannot be a chooser, because he's the one that decides your future. But even this, the Lord will make a good producer. And trusting and focusing on God will make the devil a reducer. And also, if you have a negative or bad thought in your head, try and block it out, because God help you if I draw back. And also it's important to have the doubt, and also it's important to have things out. And also for this, the Lord make things turn out, make things fall into place. If you have to run the race, leave the negative out of trace, how to move through life where be left in space. And this is the thing you can't replace. Leave God's enemies in a negative workplace. Positive vibes are much more important than negative vibes, and this is the thing you can't describe. Positive vibes are much more important than negative vibes, and this is the thing you can't describe. I try and be a good example and a good role model towards other rappers, singers and artists. Help them to persevere and to better themselves with their music and the tracks and lyrics. And I think that I have, through other people, they've helped me achieve bringing up my CD, my 9 tracks out. And I keep make sure that I keep the tracks like positive, nothing negative, nothing secular, keep them real and honest and positive, and try to inspire other rappers and singers and artists through my tracks. And I try and make in the CD each track sort of like telling a story. Each track is like telling a story about different things. I've wrote a track called Voices about, because I've got paranoid schizophrenia, I had voices in my head, so I wrote a whole track about it, and it talks about God helping me, get me through, me hearing voices in my head. So that's why I wrote that Voices track, and that's on the CD. And if you can go on YouTube, type in Ryan P Promo, and then you can hear my tracks on that. And then also, if you go on my SoundCloud website, www.soundcloud.com/Ryan P Music, that's all my 9 tracks on there as well. Obviously, it's on CD, of course, but those two other things as well. And if you put your mind to things, then with it's like your music or even other things. But me personally, my music, if you put your mind to it, you can definitely achieve something, and you'll definitely persevere, and you'll definitely better yourself in that way. This is my 10th rapping track that I brought out. It's not quite finished as yet, but I've rapped what I've written down so far. And so going out to young people, good advice to young people. Just stay, as I said before, stay dedicated, keep persevering, and you will definitely get there. Keep having a positive mindset, and keep trying to move forward in your life, and things will definitely turn out and fall into place. Enough's not being done for mental health. People with mental health that might need a bit more support, whether it's through social workers or a support worker to help them persevere and help them to move forward in their lives and help them better themselves. And this is mainly for the younger generation. I want to raise the awareness of mental health, and I want to bring out positive vibes, positive things that will help the younger generation through their negative things, and help better things to come out of it, help them to keep persevering. And please do join me in part 2.
What is mental health? What is mental health? My name is Henry Edebowale. I'm 29 years old and I'm being diagnosed with bipolar disorder affective 2, type 2. I've had this condition for 16 years and it's affected me by the start of the age of 13. Mental health is the well-being of your mind state. Basically, it is the function of your mind, the way you reason and think, the way your thoughts are being processed, the emotional and psychological ways your mind operates. Mental health it can be seen in a positive or negative light. These things are demonstrated from the way you behave, the way you interact with people, and the way you see things. Mental health can be looked at as a good or negative thing. It can be seen as a person that's acting funny, not acting in the right way, and is displaying funny characteristics like abnormal behaviour that can be shown. People think you're crazy if you've got mental health problems. Well, everyone's got mental health problems. Everyone's got a state of mind that could be in good or negative light. But people see mental health as you're crazy, you're weird, you're abnormal, you're not right in the mind, you're someone that has a lack of trust because you could do anything at any moment, you're erratic. These things are seen with people that have mental health problems. These stereotypes have been shown in society because people don't understand what mental health is. They see it as abnormal behaviour, abnormal thing that people have, and it's something that society looks down on. Mental health stereotypes can make people feel alienated, feel lonely, feel not trusted, could feel embarrassed, could feel not one with themselves because people don't want to be around them or people don't want to socialize with them because they see them as someone that's erratic and someone that has problems. My mental health started when I was 13. I was reading the Bible and reading Revelations, the end times, and basically I was having thoughts of like visions of the end times and how the world was going to end, and that got me scared and made me feel like my whole world was breaking down. This led me to have erratic behaviours of instability, worried, depressed, stressed out, and so on and so forth. My mental health basically put me in hospital the first time on on a voluntary, then I went on to sectioning. I've had mental health since 13, I'm 29, that's 16 years. I currently take sodium valproate and procyclidine, which is a side effect medication to help with the drowsiness of the sodium valproate. Mental health has really not messed up my life, but slowed me down in doing certain things in my life, like achieving goals earlier. Even though I've achieved certain goals, it's slowed me down a bit because it's made me slower in interaction. It's made me less agile. It's made me more in myself. It's made me just feel like not happy with myself and happy with the state of things that are happening around me. Because people with mental health get looked down on. They get looked down. They get looked down with in the system. But I every day do still strive to do better and be a better person in society. Currently, my mental health is at a good state, and I'm moving on with things and progressing day by day. My medication has been lowered from 1,500 grams to 1,000 grams, and I'm in a good state of mind and I'm progressing with life. I've achieved since I've had my mental health. I've achieved a degree in business admin. I currently acted in Crossroads One. I'm going to be featured in Crossroads Two. I do a bit of music, rapping, writing poetry, and I'm excited about this challenge of just acting that I'm doing right now. It's very expressive. It helps me express myself and helps me see a different performance art that I can take on board. And I'm happy to do this so I can improve my talents. Advice for young people that suffer mental health. I feel if you suffer with mental health and you're a young person, speak to family first or faith leader and try to make clear of what your problems are and where you're coming from. If you're not getting no understanding from your family, go to a professional, a psychologist, or a system to help you get your ideas and how you're feeling and what you're feeling to be expressive and how you want to deal with the issues at hand, how your mental health is affecting you on a day-to-day basis and how you can deal with the issues and what is the best course of treatment for you. Me personally, I feel like mental health is really a spiritual problem at first. The second thing to deal with is your soul, your thinker, reason, and mentality. Then your physical, which is your chemical balance and biological balance. These things are firstly to think about your mind, how your mind is acting, and how the way your mind is interacting with with your body, and how your spirit's interacting with your mind. This is something that you can go to a spiritual leader first and foremost for if you want to talk about a spiritual aspect of your mental health. And then secondly, the psychological side of your mental health with a professional psychologist. And then if you feel like you're not improving, then the best last course of action is medication. I wouldn't say take that as the first course of action. Take that as the last course of action because the medication can make you add on weight, can make you feel drowsy, can make you feel jittery, and these things are side effects you don't want to have. If I was me personally, I feel to deal with mental health, you've got to deal with it from a spiritual aspect. Firstly, to be known as something to deal with your inner being, your inner one. That is what your mental health should be dealt with. See you in part 2.
What is mental health? Some people call me preacher, also known as big man. I'm 27. I've been diagnosed with psychosis and schizophrenia. And I'm a producer and a student. What is mental health? To me, mental health is the current state of your mind state. You know, everyone is at a certain mental health level and all progress and degrade as to go on through life. But when you get to a certain depth, then it gets classified as a form of mental health that needs medication or some form of help. there are many types of mental health. You got depression, schizophrenia, psychosis, which is forms of seeing illusions and things that are not real, but you see them like they're real. You have confusion, you, so many different types, and even people that go to their normal day-to-day life and think that they're okay may suffer from mental health but never realize that they suffer from mental health and may struggle in areas and wonder why do they struggle in areas, you know. Mental health can even go down to learning disabilities, things like dyslexia and whatnot. Those are forms of mental health. What is mental health? I've been diagnosed with psychosis and schizophrenia. Due to my diagnosis, I have to take medication once a month known as paliperidone, and it's an injection form, which is also known as the depot. There are different kinds of depots out there, but it's one of them. Throughout my day-to-day life, I'm affected in various different ways. My confidence, from where I was 19 years old to where I'm now, has gone down completely. And it stops me from going into certain environments, stops me from taking certain opportunities. Most of the time, I'm actually trying to rebuild my confidence that I've lost throughout my day-to-day life. My interaction with people has completely changed. I used to be very sociable, now I keep to a very close network of friends. Not only because I don't feel like I fit in with everyone anymore, but it's also because of a form of my schizophrenia. I just can't gel with everyone. I'm paranoid to a certain extent, I can't help it. Mental health, in some cases, in fact, in a lot of cases, carry a negative stigma behind it. A lot of people literally give you words like loopy, crazy, out of his head, you know what I'm saying, just gone. Even people just say he's gone, you know what I'm saying, like he's not with us anymore, And in certain cases, I understand why they'll actually label people like that. Because from looking from the outside perspective, you're looking at someone and they're doing things that are abnormal to normal society. But to this one person, they're doing things that are absolutely fine and absolutely correct. And they're looking at you like you're abnormal, And a lot of people don't realize that that's what's going on in a lot of these people's minds when they're going through their deepest moments, that they feel that the world is against them, and due to the labeling, it just doesn't help in any way, It's like someone's reaching out to be helped, and instead you send them away and say they're crazy for what they're saying, instead of trying to say, listen, my brother, sit down. Maybe you should think about this in a different way and try to find a route mentally for them to see it in a different light so that they can actually find their way to this reality, this form of reality. Because where the mind is at that moment is in a completely different reality. That's the only way to put it. They're thinking and seeing things and experiencing things completely different, you know? I've had negative stigmas. I've had people say some crazy things about me. I'm not saying that I didn't say no crazy things or I didn't do things that were abnormal. I'm not saying that. But when I came to a point of consciousness where I understood what I was doing was wrong and abnormal, and I look back on how people behaved around me and treated me, that actually pushed towards me having more schizophrenia, because now I'm paranoid of these people because they show me a different light. They show me a different kind of thinking of what they think of me, what I wouldn't want to know or expect to hear from them in any case, I've had people call me crazy, loopy, gone, out of this world, mad. And then I've had people say, yo, you're just thinking too much, you know? Or like, yo, you're a genius, but they ain't ready for you. You know, like everyone kind of trying to put a label on what's going on in my mind, you know? And the easy thing to say was when I've gone through my psychosis especially, it was strange. It was an experience that literally changed my life. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. I don't know. We're yet to find out, you know? But yeah, it changed my life because I was seeing things and I was hearing things that I never heard before or seen, things that I thought were tangible. I mean, if you see something and you hear it, that's two of your senses saying that it's real. So you connect to it and you say, it's real, like, you know what I'm saying? It's real daylight because you see daylight. You know what I'm saying? It's a real the wind blowing because you hear the wind blowing. You feel the wind blowing. You know what I'm saying? And when you connect to it like that, it's very hard for you to come back to reality and realize that what you're seeing and experiencing is only a product of your mind. You know, our minds are extremely powerful. You know, if you do a little research, you know that we're not using the full capacity of our mind. So there are loads of things that our minds do and is capable of doing that we're not actually aware of. And sometimes when you go through psychosis and all these things, you're experiencing glimpses of these different forms of where your mind can go, you know, and you're not ready for that because you ain't been educated on it, you know. So and no one around you've been educated on it. So it's completely abnormal, you know. My hopes is one day mental health will not have a negative stigma on it. It will just be another form of thinking. You know, they're just a different person, you know. If we look at Kanye West at the current moment, a lot of people saying, yo, he's crazy. The things he's saying, the things he's doing, he's crazy. But he's clearly saying to you, this is the freest I've ever been. This is the easiest I've been able to speak and say what I want off my mind. But to everyone, he's looking crazy, you know? So when you look at it like that, is he mental health? Or is he just a genius that not a lot of people can understand because he thinks different, you know? Like, all I'm trying to prove at this point is mental health is just people that think differently. That's all it is. And because they think differently, they will approach and behave and react differently, you know? And medication just helps you to approach, react, and behave in an appropriate manner towards how society recognizes a day-to-day living lifestyle should be actually approached, you know, and how you should behave in your day-to-day, you know. So that's all that medication does, you know. But my actual mind state, since I've gone through my psychosis, has changed, you know. A lot of people tell me, yo, you're just a different guy. You are not that same guy, you know. I don't know if it's a good thing. Hopefully it's a good thing. I'm in university now. You know, I study now. You know, I used to do a lot of stupidness on the road. And I was personally, I call myself heartless at that point. You know, because I just didn't care about no one, didn't care about nothing. You know, now I'm a very caring person. You know, and I actually want to help youth and try to stop them going through what I went through, because I went down a very long road. It could have been worse, you know. And I would like to just say to the youth, you know, be wary of drugs. I know there's a lot of peer pressure out there. And I know a lot of friends will say it's only this, it's only that, it's only a small amount. Don't worry about it, it's only tonight. That's the big one when there's a party. Yeah, just tonight, man. Just take one draw. Yeah, just tonight, man. Just take one pill. Tonight, man. Just snort a little. Yeah. You know, trust me, it's a gateway. don't do it. Simple as that. Because I never thought that I would have mental health, and my mental health actually is because I was smoking drugs, and the drugs affected my mind to a point where I now suffer with psychosis and may suffer with psychosis for the rest of my life, and I will just hope that you have wisdom in you to hear my words and take away from what I said some knowledge and understand that mental health is not a joke, and it can completely ruin who you are at that point. And maybe you don't want to ruin that person you are at that point, because you have a future ahead of you and you are going places and you don't want to spoil that. Due to mental health, I spent the remainder of the last 4 years, I'll say about 3 years out of that 4 years I spent in my room, just chilling on my own, because I don't feel like being around people. And because I've done that, I'm missing opportunities. It's only last September that I decided to go for university. So it's only been the last couple of months that I brought that courage in myself and said, no, I've got to change this. I have to capture some of that old person, that old confidence that I had. I've got to capture some of that and go for these opportunities, And I would just like to say to people with mental health, don't be afraid to talk about it and inform people what you're going through. And even if you haven't been diagnosed but you feel like you're going through something, don't be afraid to tell someone, because the longer you leave it, believe me, the longer you leave it, the worse the outcome can be. So try to get it sorted as soon as possible. Thanks.